Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Back Pages, the series where we look through those Monday morning newspapers and we give our opinions as to what the newspapers are saying. Of course, it's a little bit later than normal. Usually have it on earlier in the day so that, you know, the news is fresh. I mean, we all know what's happening now. But the whole point is to give my opinion, give my reaction to it all and add something to these stories. And then get your guys' opinions in the comments below. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the intro and let's get into the video. Now before we go any further with the video, make sure to check out the top line of the description and you can go and download the channel sponsors app, and that is the One Football app. The One Football app, of course, keeps you up to date with football all over the world, not just in Scotland, giving you stats, match results, news stories, everything you need to know as you head into the games of the season this weekend and every other weekend. It's a great app, and as you can see on the screen, news stories, whenever you want, notifications, live as it's happening. You couldn't ask for anything better. Go and download it in the top line description, help out me and the channel sponsors. And aye, let's get into the video. Right, so let's start with the Daily Record today. Of course, today's going to be different. There's no sad Neil Lennon to be on the back of the papers. Neil Lennon picking up his first league win at Celtic Park since September yesterday with a 2-0 win over Kilmarnock. A very good result for Celtic, a very good performance in the second half anyway. It was something that was just, you know, unlike Celtic nowadays. That's winning the game first of all, but just a little bit of entertainment and a lot of it coming from one man, and the praise is going to one man, David Turnbull. Of course, the new blood and Morelos and Connor Hazard, and David Turnbull has just been fantastic for Celtic. But yesterday Turnbull stood out like a sore thumb. He changed the game, the dynamic for Celtic, and he has done for the last two games. He started now and he's got to be a surefire pick for Neil Lennon's side. Now, Neil Lennon's already commented on what he's planning on doing for the Cup Final, and we will talk about the Cup Final this week on the channel, of course. And that doesn't include the likes of Turnbull and Sorrell, which could be damning towards Neil Lennon, and I'm quite disappointed at it, but I can't say I'm surprised. Nonetheless, a 2-0 win for Celtic. Rangers beating Dundee United 2-1 at Tannadice in a very impressive win as well. Once again, a tough game against Dundee United. Celtic were looking for other teams to do us favours to try and get Rangers to drop points, but right now they're unstoppable. They're playing so well. Tavernier is single-handedly leading them to these tough-fought wins, and it's a real complexion, a real change. And what was once a point for Tavernier when he was right in the programme, they couldn't beat these teams that were in their face. Now he's single-handedly leading them there. It's a big change in characteristic for both him and Rangers this season. They've been phenomenal. We can't take that away from them. But aye, we're going to go to the back page, and as you can see, as I said, no Neil Lennon on the back today. But we do have Neil Lennon, we just don't have him sad as the paper hits me in the face. Lenny, I'll be loyal to old guard. Celts boss hints at Bruni return. Neil Lennon admits he now has a huge Hampden selection dilemma, but has hinted he's not ready to axe the old guard yet. The Celtic boss is facing tough calls over his new heroes while looking to be loyal to stalwarts like Scott Brown as he ponders a line-up for Sunday's William Hill Scottish Cup final against Hearts. Midfielders David Turnbull and Ismaila Sorrell were outstanding for the second successive match as Celtic sank Killie. Turnbull was the star of the show while Sorrell excelled. Look, two great performances, and I've already summed it up all yesterday. Look, once again, I'll say about Sorrell, I don't think he had a standout game. I don't think it was a game like Thursday where he was all over the park winning balls and all the rest of it, but it's off the ball. A lot of the stuff he was doing was very important as to where Celtic were going defensively and moving forward. He was brilliant. He's a good player, and Turnbull was just another gravy. 2 games in a row now. His crosses beating the first man is a sight to behold in itself regarding how Celtic have played this season. Look, 2 great players, but Lennon wanting to return to the old guard perhaps come Sunday for the Scottish Cup final. It was to be expected. I didn't see him going for Turnbull and Sorrell in the Cup final. I expected Brown to come back in. You'll probably see Rogic or Christie come back in. You'll see these players return to the lineup. And yes, there is a hint of Lennon showing sentiment for these players considering they worked towards the final. But at the same time, surely the aim for Neil Lennon, as his job is being assessed in the new year apparently, and the aim for Neil Lennon to go and win his own treble is to play the team which is winning just now, playing the winning formula. Why is he changing it? Why is he risking it? It makes no sense. It's another clueless sort of stab in the dark from Neil Lennon in terms of where he's going now. Look, there's a potential that this cup final could be one of Neil Lennon's last games as Celtic manager. As it stands, I don't know where the board are, and they said they'd assess it at New Year, but there is a chance, and he's willing to take the risk here. Look, we all know how good Scott Brown is, and over his career he's been a loyal servant to Celtic, but right now you've got to be picking the players on form. As much as I want to see Brown lift that, fourth consecutive Scottish Cup and his fourth consecutive treble, you can't right now justify Sorrell playing ahead of him until Sorrell shows hints of the decline too. But it is what it is. And then of course Rangers, Stevie, what elbow? The big call in the match yesterday between Rangers and Dundee United, was it a red card offence from Alfredo Morelos? The elbow, he goes up with Conley, both of them going for the header. Morelos leads with the elbow. Does it connect? It doesn't look as though it does. I don't think there is much contact there, which some may say means it's not a red card. And at the time when I was watching it live and when it was happening in front of my eyes and I was watching it in thorough real time, I was thinking to myself, definitely a red card. That is absolutely a red card. Then the game finished and they showed the highlights and you seen it in slow-mo all over Twitter. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not a red. It doesn't seem to be contact as I originally thought. But at the same time, there is intent behind it. He's leading there dangerously. And it's the same thing. If you go in for a two-footed tackle, you know, most of the time you're getting a red card. So the same kind of thing applies to an elbow. It was careless. It was reckless from Alfredo Morelos, and I think he has got off quite lucky with only a yellow. At the end of the day, Rangers still won the game. They still performed incredibly well, despite Morelos not being at the races. And that's what matters. James Tavernier's free kick, absolutely unbelievable. One of the best free kicks you're going to see in your life, and potentially the goal of the season in the Scottish Premiership. A very good performance, and Rangers keep on rolling. But Duff at the top. Shane Duffy is back. He gets a goal. And a solid defensive performance as well. Of course, I don't know if you've seen it, and I imagine the Celtic fans have. After the game yesterday, they went to award Christopher Ayer the man of the match. And he said, no, it's Shane Duffy. Shane Duffy was man of the match. And these are the performances we need from Duffy. We need the performance all over the park to be the same. We conceded one shot on target yesterday. Where have those defensive performances been? We've not been doing that at all. That's what we need, and it makes Duffy's life a lot easier. It will eventually bring him more confidence. You know, the fact he's not having to make all these mistakes every single week. And when the midfield and the defence are both bang on with each other, and you know, it's all harmonising, you know, it's going to work well for Duffy. He's going to build confidence, and he's going to become a better player than what we have seen right now. Sadly, we haven't seen him be a good player, but we're getting there. It's 2 decent games in a row for Duffy now. But David Turnbull and Ismaila Soro, brilliant, absolutely brilliant from those two, and they could be the saviour of Celtic's season. I'm not going to sit down on the camera and say we're going to go and win the league now and we're going to close the gap. There's still a long way to go. Let's take it a game at a time. But if we're going to get anywhere on a positive in a positive direction, it's going to be led through Turnbull and Sorrow at the minute. But Rangers, they just keep going. Shane Duffy was speaking. He said it affected me when things weren't going well and I was all over the show. But I've never had a boss who cares about us as much as Neil. Speaking out, backing his manager Neil Lennon despite the tyranny that seems to be going on over there, and despite the severe pressure piled on to Neil Lennon by Celtic fans. Clearly the team believe in the manager when they speak out. It hasn't looked like it on the park for so long, but the players are trying to back him. The players are believing in him. We need to see this week in, week out before I think the fans can start to believe it though. It's one step at a time, as I said. But when we start playing like this every single weekend, I'm sure the fans will start to believe in Lennon a bit more. But for me, we're still papering over a little bit of cracks, and we'll come to that at a certain point. And I guess the weekend and the cup final will speak volumes about it. The hotline today, the quote of the day: Morelos looks muscle-bound, overweight and slow. Give him 3 weeks off to forget about football and get back into shape. He is looking at a tad out of shape, not denying he's still a good player. He's obviously one of the best in the country, but he is looking a little bit off the pacers for me. But I guess it's not Celtic's problem at the minute, so I've not got to worry myself. And then the top quote of the day, or the top hotline of the day, was small steps, is how Neil Lennon put it, but Celtic's 2-0 win over Kilmarnock was a giant leap for the Hoops faithful in a space of a week or two. And then Paul McCormick from Cope Bridge said, a clean sheet, 2 goals, created lots more chances, looked busier, baby steps in the right direction Celtic. It's always been darkest before the dawn. People choosing to believe in Lenny, people choosing to believe that we can still turn this ship around. I don't quite know where I lie yet, But that's about it. The Rangers win over Dundee United, of course. They've got a lot more stories carrying over the rest of the league. Robbie Nielsen speaking before the cup final there. A lot of the English football. Oh, and then a wee quiz for the day. Fantastic. That's the daily record for today. Too good was the headline for the 2 wins for Celtic and Rangers. And then the Express, the final one to wrap us up today. We've already went for 10 minutes. It's been quite the talkative one. Alf's not guilty is the headline. Gerrard backs his striker. Steven Gerrard leapt to the defence of Alfredo Morelos, insisting he didn't deserve to be red carded for his elbow on Mark Connolly. The Colombian was booked after catching a Dundee United stop on the Light Blues 2-1 victory at Tannadice yesterday. Gerrard's strike legend Ali McCoy branded the striker crazy for the 12-minute incident, but Gerrard is adamant ref Stephen McLean made the right decision to only show him the yellow card. Of course, the reactions at the time, I think, as I said earlier, I think a lot of the commentary and the initial reaction on social media was on the same page as me. It looked like a certain red card at the time. I guess it's up for debate now, but listen to us talk about it in the Talk Scottish Football podcast. We speak about it on there. Neil to keep the faith in the old boys, of course, on the back pages as well, because, well, that is going to be a talking point about the team selection all week. I'm sure that will be very, very big. And the eyes of Celtic fans, it would be criminal at the minute, or most Celtic fans, to drop Turnbull and Sorrow. So, I don't get it. I really don't. But then again, we've seen this kind of tactical inability and team selection inability for months now. And then St Johnstone Livingston, of course, the result over there, 2-1. Livy, few other games all over, but hoops on way back, question mark, is the headline for the Celtic game. Aberdeen 2, Ross County 0, Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1 and Hamilton 0, Hibernian 4, and which was a very exciting weekend around the grounds in the Premiership. But that does it for this episode of the back pages. Morelos is dominating them with his red card, question mark offence, and of course Celtic winning for the first time means we don't have a grim photo of Neil Lennon to look at. So that does it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.